Are you ready to unleash your full potential and love your practice and your life? Welcome to the Legal Athlete Podcast, where every week I share the science, sports psychology, and neuroscience-based strategies that elite athletes use to dominate their game so you can dominate yours. I'm Jess Sargus, your host and high-performance coach for lawyers. With over 22 years as a trial attorney and legal exec, I've been where you are. But I'm also an undefeated former MMA fighter and coach for professional combat athletes. And now I'm here to use both those skill sets to help you master high-performance techniques and strategies so you can win more, stress less, and love your practice and your life. Get ready to become a legal athlete. Green light. Let's get it. Welcome back to the Legal Athlete Podcast. I'm your host, Jess Sargus. And if you're tuning in today, you're in for something a little different. So this week, we're diving into a topic that often gets overlooked, but is absolutely essential for anyone in a high-performance profession: recovery. In today's episode, you're going to learn essential self-care strategies so you can recover like an athlete. Now, when most people think about high performance, they think about working harder, pushing longer, and constantly grinding. But here's the truth. For sustained, long-term performance, recovery is just as important as the work itself. Athletes understand this deeply. Without recovery, they risk burnout, injury, and a decline in performance. And it's the same for lawyers. If you want to be at your best without sacrificing your well-being, relationships, or peace of mind, recovery needs to be a part of your game plan. Or, to put it another way, let's talk about why rest and recovery matter if you want to optimize your performance. And here's a little story about a time I learned this critically important concept the hard way. It's the time my MMA coach called me out for being a recovery asshole. They say insanity is doing the same thing over and over, expecting different results. Being an A-word can be similar. Thinking toughness can outsmart science. Years ago, I was training hard to get into fight shape, and my elbow started swelling. My doctor diagnosed tendinitis, a classic overuse injury. The only effective treatment? Rest the affected tendon, apply ice, and take anti-inflammatories. So, what did I do after my appointments and this diagnosis? I went straight back to the gym. Midway through grimacing my way through a set of pull-ups, I told my coach about the diagnosis. He just paused, looked at me, and asked, "Are you an asshole? How do you treat tendinitis?" he demanded. "Rest it," I said. "Does it get better if you keep inflaming it?" he continued. And with growing awareness, I answered, "No." "And what are you doing?" he asked. "Not resting it." And then he hit me with, "So, are you an asshole?" At that moment, I knew he was right. I thought grit could overcome an overuse injury, that pushing through was the way to reach my goals. I was wrong. I stopped, reconfigured my approach, rested, and finally, my elbow healed. Now, imagine instead of an elbow afflicted with an overuse injury, it's your brain. And say your entire high-performance career depends on your brain functioning optimally. What would your coach say to you if you were experiencing brain overuse symptoms and you still refused to rest and recover? Yep. No one wants to be an A-word, and yet so many of us in the legal profession make this same recovery mistake. So today, let's take the elite athlete approach instead. In today's podcast, we're going to cover 3 core strategies to help you recover like a pro athlete: active rest, strategic breaks, and sleep optimization. So let's dive in. First part, The power of active rest. Now, active rest might sound like a contradiction. How can you be active and resting at the same time? But in sports recovery, active rest refers to light activities that keep your body moving without putting it under stress. Think of it as low-intensity exercise, stretching, walking, yoga, even a gentle bike ride. And why is this important for lawyers? Well, as professionals who spend hours sitting, reading, writing, and thinking, it is easy for your body to become stiff, tense, and fatigued. And the fatigue isn't just physical. Of all the calories that your body burns, about 25% is from your brain. That's real energy expenditure. That's real fatigue. And when your body feels tense and your brain is fatigued, it can increase mental strain and lead to decreased focus. Active rest helps keep blood flowing, reduces mental tension, and can give your brain a break. There's actually science to back this up. Studies have shown that light physical movement increases blood flow to the brain, providing more oxygen and nutrients that help improve cognitive performance. This movement also helps reduce cortisol, a stress hormone that's often elevated when we're mentally tasked. But by getting up, stretching, or taking a quick walk, you can lower cortisol levels and feel more relaxed and alert. Another interesting finding from neuroscience is that active rest can enhance neuroplasticity. That's the brain's ability to adapt and create new connections. When you engage in low-intensity activities, especially those that involve some level of rhythmic movement, it encourages brain waves associated with relaxation and creativity. This state can lead to better problem solving and focus when you return to your work. So here's how to implement active rest in your workday. Let's say you've had an intense morning of deep work or back-to-back client meetings. Instead of jumping right back into more work, take 10 or 15 or even 20 minutes to go for a walk outside or do some gentle stretches. The goal is to keep your body moving without adding stress. You might also consider incorporating a longer period of active rest into your week. For example, on the weekend, spend some time in nature, go for a hike, or take a yoga class. These activities provide a mental and physical reset, helping you come back to work feeling refreshed and focused. Remember, recovery doesn't mean doing nothing. It means actively nurturing your body and mind so they can perform at their best, treating your body and your mind like the high-performance tools they are. Next up, let's talk about strategic breaks. High-performing athletes know the value of working in intervals and resting in between. Lawyers, however, often fall into the trap of marathon work sessions, just grinding through hours of work without taking any real breaks. This approach can lead to fatigue, burnout, and a decline in cognitive performance. So here's where ultradian rhythms come in. Ultradian rhythms are natural cycles of high and low energy that repeat throughout the day. Research shows that our brains work best in 90-minute cycles of focus, followed by a short break. So instead of pushing through for hours on end, aim to work intensely and in a focused way for 90 minutes, and then take a 15 to 20-minute break. During these breaks, step away from your desk entirely. Do something that gives your mind a real break. Take a walk, grab a healthy snack, or do some deep breathing or meditation. These breaks aren't just for fun. They really help reset your focus, clear your mind, and prevent cognitive fatigue. You're actually taking advantage of the 20-minute period of lowered energy that occurs after a 90-minute period of focused energy. So when you return, you're sharper and more focused, which actually makes you more productive, even with those breaks peppered into your day. I've seen this in action with athletes and in my own experience in the legal field. By working in focused intervals with regular breaks, you prevent the kind of burnout that comes from constant, sustained focus and treating your workday like a marathon instead of a sprint with breaks. Plus, you get the added benefit of feeling refreshed throughout the day rather than completely drained by the time you finally head home. When we approach our workday as periods of sprint and rest, we actually get far more done at a much higher level than treating it like an all-day marathon. And finally, let's talk about sleep. We hear so much about sleep, but still underestimate how crucial it is for recovery and performance. Athletes know that sleep is one of the best tools for muscle recovery, focus, and mental resilience. And for lawyers, sleep is just as important, if not more. Here's the science. Sleep deprivation has been shown to impair cognitive functions, especially decision-making, memory, and problem-solving, key skills for any lawyer. Research published in the Journal of Sleep Research found that just one night of sleep deprivation can reduce cognitive performance by as much as 30%. Over time, chronic sleep deprivation impacts your brain's prefrontal cortex, the area responsible for executive functions like reasoning, planning, and impulse control. Additionally, the brain's ability to handle stress is compromised when we're sleep deprived. Studies show that a lack of sleep increases the amygdala's activity, the part of the brain responsible for emotional responses. With an overactive amygdala, you're more likely to experience heightened stress, anxiety, and even irritability in response to challenges. In other words, without sufficient sleep, it's harder to stay calm and focused, especially under pressure. And it's easy to become a different kind of a-hole. Nobody wants that. So to optimize sleep, here are a few key strategies. First, set a consistent sleep schedule. Going to bed and waking up at the same time every day helps regulate your body's internal clock, making it easier to fall asleep and wake up feeling refreshed. You should aim for 7 to 9 hours of quality sleep each night. Second, create a wind-down routine. Just as athletes have pregame rituals, a bedtime routine signals to your brain that it's time to rest. This might include dimming the lights, reading a book, or practicing relaxation techniques like deep breathing or meditation. Speaking of self-care, it could even include something like a gua sha routine, or just simply focusing on brushing your teeth and washing your face. Try to avoid screens and bright lights before bed, as they can disrupt your body's natural sleep rhythm. Finally, pay attention to your sleep environment. Keep your room cool, dark, and quiet. Consider blackout curtains or a white noise machine if necessary. Even a fan can do the trick. These small adjustments can make big differences in the quality of your sleep. So let's bring all of this together. If you want to perform at your best as a lawyer, you need to prioritize recovery just as much as athletes do. Active rest, strategic breaks, and sleep optimization aren't just wellness practices, they're performance strategies. It may seem like you don't have time to fit these into your very busy day, and I know we've all got high pressure demands on our time. We have clients we want to serve to the best of our ability, and we have colleagues that we want to do right by, and other work pressures and social pressures and family pressures, and somehow we need to fit it all in. And what I'm telling you is that rest and recovery is not a luxury. It's essential if you want to do the best for your clients. If you want to be the highest performance lawyer you can be, you have to be disciplined and make a plan to fit in rest and recovery, not only throughout your day, but to make sure you get your sleep at night. You're going to be far more productive during the hours that you are working in the day, getting more done in less time, and you're going to do them better. Remember, active rest doesn't mean doing nothing. It's about low-intensity movement that helps keep your body relaxed and your mind fresh. So make time for light activity during your workday and on the weekends. Strategic breaks aligned with your ultradian rhythms help you stay sharp throughout the day. Work in 90-minute intervals and take 15 to 20-minute breaks to reset your focus. This rhythm will keep your mind sharp and prevent cognitive burnout by the end of the day. And finally, prioritize your sleep. Set a consistent sleep schedule. Create a wind-down routine and make your sleep environment conducive to rest. High-quality sleep is essential for mental clarity, resilience, and long-term health. As lawyers, we're often focused on doing more and pushing harder. But if you want to sustain that high performance over the long run, recovery has to be part of the equation. These self-care strategies will help you show up each day as the best version of yourself, not only for your clients, not only for your family, not only in your relationships, but for yourself as well. You'll be energized, focused, and resilient. And added benefit, you're going to avoid being an A word. Who doesn't want that? Thank you for joining me today on the Legal Athlete Podcast. I hope these recovery strategies inspire you to start treating your body and your mind like the high-performance tools they are. If you found today's episode helpful, don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, or share it with a friend. Let's keep this high-performance journey going together. Until next time, legal athletes, keep crushing it, fighting the good fight, and recover well to stay at the top of your game.